Shorty keep it real, it's better than being perfect. Pull up in the floor, I'm sure it's just nervous. I see with a stick on me like I'm playing hard. Didn't drag me through the mud, but the boys gonna stop and slide. Yo, good, woman, hand. You know the vibe. I'll be sliding through your hood with my hand. You know the vibe. You know the vibe. I'm a shooter in my city like KD. Walking through the field like an AV. It's not a house, it's the pit. Through your hood with my stick. Get it from the mud, dirt cheap. Click like a down first. 50 mil strong if you told a 10-year challenge. 150,000. Cruising with the Uzi like a JD. If you see me with my baby, I'll be safety. The old white boys put the pain in it. Got some 5 chicks with the yak in it. Shorty keep it real, it's better than being perfect. Pull up in the floor, shorty just nervous. I see this thing for me like I'm playing hard. Didn't drink me through the mud, but the boys gonna slide through your hood with my hand. You know the vibe. You know the vibe. I'll be sliding through your hood with my hand. You know the vibe. You know the vibe. I'll be in the way, chill out with them. Stress with grip, I ain't never get a steal. You deep in sand, you deep in my beef, we was hopping out, man. Trying to stand over your man, so I get 5, 7, the fish. Things if I can, nigga, we gon' stop me. We gon' chop me, mop me. Feel this ice in your face, got the day till I pull you off. I'm on post, and need to hurt me. I ain't trying to do something big until it's something silly. I ain't trying to do a biggie, ain't trail me with shit, I'm very silly. I got with my 50 trill, nigga. Shorty keep it real, it's better than being perfect. Pull up in the floor, shorty just nervous. I see this thing for me like I'm playing hard. Didn't drag me through the mud, but the boys gonna slide through your hood with my hand. You know the vibe. You know the vibe. I'll be sliding through your hood with my hand. You know the vibe.
Yeah.
You know the vibe.
Yeah. Shalom, shalom, family. Shalom, shalom, family. You know the vibe. Shalom, shalom. You know what I'm saying? Get that music and get that good feeling up in there. You know what I'm talking about? Shalom, brothers, shalom, sisters. You now tuned in to the Scoring Black Man Podcast. And this is the Scoring Black Man Podcast series, episode 25, Pimps, Hoes, and UFOs from a street and biblical perspective. You dig? So, shalom, shalom, brother Don Yehuda, brother Zadok, my co-host.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Y'all sound like y'all sleep. Y'all there?
Shalom, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I got you, brother.
All praises to the Creator.
Shalom, brother Don Yehuda. Don, you might be making a sandwich. You might be making a sandwich right now. Making a sandwich. Episode 25, Pimp, Hoes, and UFOs from a street and biblical perspective. Now, hope y'all having a wonderful Sabbath out there. Peace, love, and blessings to everyone and their families. Hope everybody is in good health, good spirit. Shout out to the chats. You know, okay, let me see. Shout out to the chat. All the beautiful sisters out there, all the brothers. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it. I'm gonna start sharing my screen here. I'm gonna put my mic on mute and share my screen here real quick.
Hey, it's crazy. You came up with that with that title today, man. A lot of people was laughing about that thing. I think catchy than a mug.
Oh yeah, pimp hoes and UFOs.
Yeah.
yeah, man. Pimp hoes and UFO, man. So many brothers and sisters hit me up like, man, I love that title.
Yo, that thing take me to like an old school 8-ball MJG cover or something. You know what I'm saying?
That's what the background is right there. You see 8-ball MJG in the car. They're in the car in space. They space age pimping. You know what I'm talking about? It just rolled together, pimp hoes and UFOs. So so we're gonna get into pimps and hoes first. We got a couple of videos to show y'all. Let me share my screen here.
Terms and definitions. All right. By request, this young player out of Detroit want me to just touch on some things, and I'm sure he already know the answer to this shit, but he just want everybody to know so we can clear some of this shit up. And that is, what is a pimp? Okay, what is a Mac? You did. What is a player? And I'm gonna throw some more shit in there. I'm gonna say what is a lame and what is a square, because I think those things need to be addressed as well. So, first of all, a pimp. A pimp gets paid from prostitutes. That's it. That's all. If you are not getting your funds from a bitch, you understand, that's selling pussy for money, you are not a pimp. Okay? Have you pimped? If you did that, you have pimped. But do you live your life solely based on those kind of activities? Then you're not a pimp. Okay? Shit, I'm a pimp if we just gonna go on the few times we got a bitch to trick, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not a pimp, okay? I don't make my funds off of women prostituting, so I am not a pimp. But that's what a pimp is, and that's all a pimp is, okay? Nothing else. Not a rapper with some hoes, not a fucking dude with a couple girlfriends, a couple chicks. That's not a pimp, all right? Now, a Mac, okay? Y'all might have heard that term. It's not used as much as it used to be, but a Mac is a game spitter. Okay, that's somebody who can holler at women real well, who can approach women, get them out their clothes, get them to come with the fellas, get them to lead a club, just to, get them to sell pussy, whatever. It's just macking on a chick. It's more of an action than it is a title. You know what I'm saying? A pimp could be a Mac. A player could be a Mac. It just means you macking on women. It's an action, like I said. You know, macking is just game spitting. You did. A player, I already addressed what a player is. A player is just a dude with game. A lot of charisma, you know, charismatic dude, a likable guy, friendly guy, not a hater. You know what I'm saying? The complete opposite of a hater. If you're a hater, you're not a fucking player. Okay, the light and dark can't be in the same room at the same time. You did. So that's what a player is. Now a square. A square ain't no lame dude. A square ain't no fucking buster ass nigga. Y'all use that term to insult a person. You know, a square is just it just means you not you a civilian. Okay, that means you not in the streets. That means you
Not a Mac, not a pimp, not a player. You know, you just a regular dude. Might got a wife. Might got you just one of them guys who ain't out trying to floss. You know what I'm saying? Just a regular guy. You know, everyday Joe. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That would be a square. That's what I'm trying to be right now. God damn it, I'm trying to be a fucking square. But this goddamn player just is in me for life, probably. But what else? And a lame. Okay, now a lame. It's a lot of fucking lames in the goddamn world, all right? A lame is a fake motherfucker. It's a lying motherfucker. It's a wannabe motherfucker. It's these are the type of niggas that put black eyes in the pimp game. You know what I'm saying? Taking little kids off the street, you know, forcing little kids in the home and all kind of crazy shit. That's a fucking lame. You know what I'm saying? That's not a pimp. That's a fucking lame. Them dudes who act like they players because they get at a lot of bitches, but they can't get one to fuck with them. Can't get one to stay. Nigga, you a lame. It's a lot of lames with some money. So some of these niggas out here flossing real good and look like, you know, they dress like players. They present themselves as players. They drive player ass cars. But you can't make a lame. You can't dress up a lame and turn them into no boss nigga, man. If you a buster, you a buster. And the sad part is so many women fall victim to these lames. They end up getting pregnant by these lames. They end up thinking they got a real boss on their hand. And guess what happens? All that shit get exposed. You feel me? Y'all need to take more motherfucking observation on these niggas before y'all make all these life decisions, okay? Or you might end up with a lame. There's lame bitches out there too that just want to see everybody miserable. You know what I'm saying? You're a lame bitch. Get your own shit going on, you know? Jealousy is a lame motherfucker. If you just walk around jealous all day, man, mad at everybody else got it and you ain't willing to get it, you a fucking lame. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with being a square. You know what I'm saying? That just means Bill Gates is a square. Warren Buffett is a square. I don't see nothing wrong with them motherfuckers. You dig? So, pimp sells pussy. A Mac gets that hoes. A player is a cool, charismatic young dude who know how to talk and know how to, spread love. What I say? A square is a regular dude, and a lame is the scum of the fucking earth. All right. Hope these terms help y'all out so y'all quit misusing them. So y'all understand where we coming from, where real niggas talk about real shit. You won't be.
So I took fat from my.
Hey, what did you have done?
I had a Brazilian butt lift. Basically, a fat transfer. So I took fat from my stomach, my arms, my thighs, and I kind of moved it into like my bum bum.
And where did you go to get that done?
I went to DR to get a BBL.
Okay, first of all, why DR and what is a BBL?
A BBL is a Brazilian butt lift. Other words, fat transfer.
Just
putting it in my butt. Yeah. I went to DR because, they'll perform the surgery. They'll get you nice and snatched with a flat stomach. But see, DR and Colombia, they'll give you that nice Coke bottle. That Coke bottle look like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then it is a little bit cheaper out there when you travel outside the country than it is in the United States.
How much are we talking about?
I think they quoted me like $12,000 out here in Manhattan. And then in DR, you can get it done from anywhere between like $4,000 and like $7,000.
Also out here, they're only allowed to take a certain amount of fat. Compared to the countries, they could take more fat.
It may sound simple to take fat from here and here and move it to there, but the BBL is undoubtedly the most dangerous cosmetic surgery in the world. 1 out of every 3,000 BBLs ends in death. Yet in 2020, in the middle of a damn pandemic, more than 20,000 women here in the US got one. And thousands more went overseas to get a BBL for cheap.
The line to get to Atlanta, 95% of the passengers just got a BBL. Plastic surgery. I would give birth 80 more times before I had another BBL. The snatching part is burning. But I mean, hey, people have babies, so do it.
Do you feel that people have to take this risk to sort of make it to the top of your line of work? That this is a necessary requirement?
I feel like people take the risk just because they just want to look like that fantasy that they've been dreaming of, or that dream body, that dream job. So once you see what you gain from it, then you got to keep going.
Yeah.
I feel like it changed my life because I started getting a lot more work like that. And it boosted everything to another level.
What are some of the high profile videos you've done?
The most high one is the Drake, the Hotline Bling video. I just want people to be safe on their decisions, on their bodies. If a doctor tells you no, it's no.
While Winnie and Marie had their BBLs done by real doctors, lots of women are going to the black market where silicone butt injections are even more deadly.
Went into getting the shots knowing that it was risky, that it was wrong.
It was just being married in an unhappy marriage. I had a girlfriend who actually had it done, and then she was boasting about it. I had silicone injections, obviously not by a professional doctor. It was $1,000, and we met the lady who would then inject us. And as you're getting injected, it's feeling like fire being pushed into your body. It's very bad. It's excruciating pain. She's putting crazy glue, the regular crazy glue you get from the dollar store, on the incision so that it doesn't seep out with cotton balls that then close it up.
This woman put crazy glue on an open part of your body.
Yes.
Brenda tried to pump up her butt with that cheap silicone injection, but that back alley shortcut put her in the hospital. This is her third surgery just to cut out the infected fat.
When somebody has breast implants, they get silicone implants, it's encapsulated. That's legit. That's allowed to be put in the body. What we're talking about here is liquid silicone, non-medical grade. So when you put something in the human body that doesn't belong there, the body fights it. In the last 5 or 10 years with social media, people want to look like the Kardashian. The trend has been to have a smaller waist and a bigger butt, like a Brazilian butt lift where you do liposuction and your stomach usually, or your flanks, your love handles, and you transfer in the butt. That's the way to do this correctly. But that comes at a cost of general anesthesia, more than $10,000, a couple of weeks of not laying on your butt. So they go and take the easy way out. The legitimate way to inject your butt with a product that's legal and FDA approved is by using real hyaluronic acid. The body makes this. So this is like a synthesized version. People do this in the face all the time, in the cheeks and the lip and the chin.
The body makes this?
The body makes this. So 1 cc, we sell it for $800, and that's an average price. So when women go and get these injections, they're getting 700 cc's, 1,000 cc's, 2,000 cc's. So if they get 1,000 cc's, and if they were going to do it the legitimate way, that would be $800,000 a side, which is prohibitive and ridiculous. So that's what drives people, the illegal stuff, because it's $1,000 and you can get it all in one day. It's like relatively painless.
Why don't you own commercial real estate? Yes, you. Why don't you own?
In 30 seconds to make her want to. Most of the people who approach me, like in the pimp game, they're not asking how to be pimps. They mostly come to me about how to approach women using body language. So I said, you have to understand, a lot of married guys can't wake their wives up to get them a tuna fish sandwich. What do you think I say to a woman in 30 seconds to make her want to sell her body on the corner for me for 12 hours? I said, it's certain power in language in this you use, but when I teach guys this, I don't teach them so that they can go out and do that. I teach them so that they can be the guy at the bar. I said, I'm 5'7", and I don't think I'm the most handsomest man in the world. Watch me leave with all the women in this party, and it won't take me 5 minutes. I said, see that girl over there? Because most of my women are 6 feet and over because I have this obsession with tall women. I said, you can get her. I said, watch this. And I just come lean in her ear, and all of a sudden she grabs her purse, and I said, it's that easy. I said, you just don't know what to say, when to say, how to say it. You haven't been watching her body language. You haven't been watching her movements. You didn't watch how many times her eyes dipped down and came back up. you know, things like that. I said, you don't know what to say. And that's what I was, you know, that's what I usually instruct guys to. When they say, you're teaching your parents, I said, no, I'm not. I'm teaching them how to have one brain submit to the will of theirs. Now, that can be on the job. That can be used parentally. We do it with our children every day. You know, how do you get this kid to clean his room who wants to play his PlayStation? Well, there are certain things you can say. It doesn't have to be threats. If you can't outsmart a 4-year-old, you really need to go back to school.
Yeah.
You know, but there's things you can say to make that child, wow.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, they're doing their homework. I said, so you can take these skills anywhere, but that's something you really don't know at 19, 20, 21. You figure you can only use those skills in one place.
So this is like the carrot and not the stick, right? When it comes to control and influence.
Well, that depends on that particular technique.
Okay.
You know, I have in certain instances I talk about the elephant technique, the lobster technique, the frog technique. You can use the carrot and the stick, but eventually you have to change out the carrot. You know, it's a lot of mind control techniques, and I don't call them control. I call them manipulation, because they're not steering, they're guiding. It's a big difference. You don't steer an airplane. You just crash into a mountain. You kind of guide it. It kind of flies itself with the current and the wind beneath its wings and the propelling. You're not really steering it. You're kind of guiding it along the way. Or surfing, if you're familiar with surfing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah. You're not really steering. You're kind of going with the current and with the wave, and it kind of takes you to the shore.
It's like
I lived in Redondo Beach. Yeah, exactly like Aikido. I tell someone, you use the harder you come at me using Aikido, the harder you're going to hit the ground. You're using your own force against itself. You know, I did my 6 months as a surfer when my family had moved to Redondo Beach for a while. I mean, when in Rome, I was about 11.
No kidding. Yeah, not a bad place to learn how to surf. That's for sure.
That's all the other kids did. I'm like, you guys play football? No, we go to the beach. It's like 4 blocks away. I said, okay, you got to get a board. And one of them let me use his board. Now, it wasn't a surfboard, it was a boogie board, but they was teaching me because, you know, I'm from Inglewood and I don't know how to. So they holding me up on each end, balance and all of that kind of stuff. And they taught me about the. Keep in mind, they were teaching me. They were only 12 and 13. They're doing their selves.
They've probably been surfing since they were 5 years old, though.
Yeah.
If they grew up there.
If you like that.
All right. Then. Pimp hoes and UFOs, man. Pimps and hoes right here, man. We talking about pimps and hoes right now. Man, we was some funny stuff going on in them videos. I know they were kind of very entertaining, especially that one about the BBLs. Oh my good Lord. Man, y'all gonna kill yourselves out here. You know what I'm saying? What is it for? It ain't for us. Because we like, I mean, most men, you ask most black men, they're going to say, we love natural body women. If you got a big ass, baby, let it be big and natural. So it's just soft and it's just moldy and everything. But y'all don't get all these fake asses, fake titties. Oh my God, man. And you're just dying. Super glue? For real? Super glue? Oh man, this right here, you know what I'm saying? This is crazy, man. This is crazy. And the pimping upon pimping. Man, they gave some pretty good the first one, he gave a pretty good definition, man, of a pimp, a lame, you know what I'm saying, a player, all the above, man. I mean, shit, let's just go ahead and really get into it. And really, we're gonna make this right here a really quick one, man. As far as the pimping. They're gonna be we know the scripture says, you know, don't pimp the daughters of Israel. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it, you know, and we should not be pimping our daughters out. You know, say these beautiful black women, these beautiful Negro, Afro descent women. We should not be pimping them at all. We should be loving them and nurturing them and guiding them in the right direction. But a Gentile, hey. Show me that where it says is a problem with pimping Gentiles, man. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I know what I'm saying. Pimp old Gentile, I don't care. I don't care about my beautiful black women. You know what I'm saying? We don't did so many episodes on just the whorish activity you know, the women, but this I want to become a whole by any means necessary mentality has got to stop. I mean, I'm just tired of walking in every damn place and seeing my beautiful black women having a hoe off contest. Who can out hoe the next hoe? You know, and you know, you're gonna hear that hoe call, hey, hey, hey. You know what I'm saying? It just, and you know when you hear that, it's some damn ass being thrown around. Now we got so much fake ass, man, you know, and I know we all have seen these horror stories of all these surgeries. It just ain't the BBLs. I mean, you know, they might go in there and get some fake titties, get, you know, get the hips reconstructed. I mean, now, man, I know a chick that got, and she was in her 40s, and she really had no stomach. And she like, you know, I'm finna go get a 6-pack constructed. I think I told this on one of the shows. And, you know, she said her best friend got mad at her because she felt that she could have been using that money to help her pay her bills. I said, damn. But I like, even when you go to get a 6-pack constructed, you still got to go to the gym. Why not just go to the gym and just get it done? You can't, you know what I'm saying? It's like we talked about, you know, Thursday night about, you know, these diets that we on. You know what I'm saying? We on the wrong diets, and no exercise is going to have your body looking like an Uncle Bloom. But you know what I'm saying? But instead of you, you know, you slow cooking that thing, you want to microwave that thing. And then that's when you get all the damn radiation. You know, super gluing and goddamn, I mean, I wonder what the hell kind of shit were they shooting up in her, man? Yeast? Was they taking real yeast and shooting up in her ass or something? And then super glue the motherfucker on the end? Hey, excuse me, speech today, but this right here, this got to go, man. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. But I want to hear what the chat going about. I want to hear what my brother Zadok, you know what I'm saying, Zadok Marmar, man. What in the hell is going on, man? You know, pimping and hoes right now. We just talking about pimping and hoes, man. And you could attack either one or attack both of them.
Man. Well, like I posted in the chat, man, I said it's attention seeking, man. A whole lot of attention seeking, man. These sisters don't love themselves, man, you know, or they've been played by a wannabe player or pimp to the point to where they feel worthless. They was told about themselves physically that they weren't attractive enough or whatnot. And so they want to go out, you know, and they also get this influence from other girlfriends too, because they might got a friend that got a nice juicy joint, you know what I'm saying? And now she want to match that, and then they all put in money together or whatnot, or go get, you know, to go get that you know, that rump roast, you know. But the surgical procedure that they got to go through to get it, man, it's very pricey and painless, and death can ensue from getting that. So I just don't really understand how, you know, the mindset behind it. I mean, you have to actually be in the mind, in the head of one of these sisters, man, to understand why they would put their body through such rigorous you know, transformation to just seek attention. Because in the long run, all you get is attention, and also in the long run of that, you're getting heartache and pain at the end of it, because you end up getting diseases, you end up getting, you know, beat up, robbed. You know, I saw one video where a woman sat up there, she was crying, and she had her breasts out, you know, and one of them looked like a balloon pop, you know what I'm saying, and the other one, you know, oh man, it was just madness, man. So yeah, I don't know, these sisters need to get it together, man, and understand that, you know, you are beautiful how you are, pancake and all, you know, flat chest, what they say, 2 bee stings up top or whatever. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? But it's the mindset, how you walking out here, man. That's what's attractive, you know, to me. And that's what brothers should be looking at. You know what I'm saying? Not a big ass, big titties and all of that, because that broad might be dumb as hell, right? And get you caught up. You know, you understand? So That's it on that.
Man, let me before I pass it to Don Yehuda, just while we on it, let me get a quick scripture. And it's Ecclesiastes 7:29. Lo, this only have I found, that the Most High has made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Let me read that again, because it was prophesied. Ecclesiastes chapter 7:29. Lo, this only have I found, that man has made, the Most High have made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. These are your BBLs. These are you're cutting off your dicks and making a cooter hole out of it. I don't know what the hell it is. It ain't a cooter hole. It's just a damn hole. This is the fake titties. This is the fake hips, the abs, the fake abs, the fake goddamn cheekbones. I mean, damn, man, it's so much different shit that it's just getting done. Now they damn making it, you know what I'm saying? Where I seen where they could break your legs and put metal rods in it and make them, you know what I'm saying? It's called a man BBL, but it makes you taller, 6 inches taller. Yeah, this shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy. But I'm gonna pass it to Brother Don Yehuda. Brother Don Yehuda, pimps and hoes. Pimps and hoes.
Now, Mr. Pretty Tony, you know the rules of the game. Your chick chose me. Now you can handle this like you got some class, or we can get into some gangster. Yo, that just reminds me of the Mac all day. And unfortunately, the Mac is like one of my favorite movies, man. But the exploiting of our women, man, you know, that's something that today's generation is doing at an all-time high. And what's crazy about it, which is why the brother had to break down the whole meanings of each word, is because they have successfully amalgamated all the words into one new like super player pimp Mac out here, because we know that most brothers that say they pimping, they're not pimping because they're not out here selling any women. They're not getting no money off of the situation. They might be getting some trim. That's about it. They might be getting a Happy Meal here and there, or a little bit of checks or whatever, but they're not really pimping as the word or the term is really implied. But they have successfully amalgamated this whole lifestyle and this whole aura of being a pimp, being a player, being a Mac, by exploiting and manipulating our sisters. And it was something that the one brother said that was very powerful, is that he said that you can manipulate a woman by just off of how you talk to her and observing her body language. You know, if you ever knew any pimps or you watched any pimp movies, they would always tell their hoes not to look another pimp in the eye, because when a woman would look a man in the eye, depending on how that look is, how long that gaze was, how she cut her eyes, he knew he had her. You know what I'm saying? So even us in today, though we're not pimping, we know that if a woman look at a certain way, you know, like you in the club or you out and about and you see a woman look at you, you know, if that gaze is a little too long or she look a certain way, in your mind, you're like, oh, she into me. I'm about to go up there and shoot my shot. You know what I'm saying? And that's really how it is. But, you know, a lot of these things are being used to the detriment of our communities. Just like you mentioned earlier in Leviticus 19:29, it says, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. At least the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. So this is what we're seeing right now. We're seeing a lot of wickedness within our communities because our communities have failed to whoredom. You know, we use everything to our advantage to try to get what we want. And in most cases, women utilize their sexual prowess, you know, their sexual attraction or persuasion to get what they want. And men know this, and so they use their manipulation of women knowing this to get what they want. So it's a dog-eat-dog cycle. It's a back and forth. You know, it's never ending. And so a lot of times what we see now is manifested in the multimedia outlets. You know what I'm saying? From back in the day, it was World Star. Now it's Instagram, Facebook, and any other media outlet, you know what I'm saying, YouTube that you see. Anytime you get on any of these media outlets, it's always over-sexualized. It's hyper-sexualized with the imagery, with the things that's going on. And it's become fashionable and acceptable for women to be hoes and for men to be players, pimps, and macs. You know what I'm saying? Without any consequence, so to say, in their actions. So, you know,
when you talk about looking at the body language, we know that this is, true according to scripture. When you read in the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 19 and 29, it says a man may be known by his look. So when you look at a person, you kind of can get a feel, you can feel the vibe, you know what I'm saying? You can feel kind of the aura of that person just by how they carry themselves. And it says, and one that hath understanding by his countenance, when thou meetest him, a man's attire and excessive laughter and gait show what he is. So when you interact with a person, you kind of get a feel for what that person, stands for morally. You kind of get a feel for who they are as a person. And this is what a lot of our brothers do when they approach women. You know what I'm saying? We shoot our shot. Shooting our shot is really just throwing out some lame, vague terminology to a lot of women, stuff that they done heard before repetitively from every man. It's like the same playbook. Every dude say the same thing. And for some reason, a lot of our sisters fall for it, but they just throwing these things out to get a feel for where your head at, where your mind at. How much can I get away with you? So, you have to really be, really knowledgeable about who you're dealing with, who's approaching you, how you're carrying yourself, what you're opening up yourself to, because if not, you can fall victim to some of these attributes that, that these brothers was talking about and how they get these women and manipulate them.
Con, man. The sisters were bringing out some good information there. Shalom Star, FOP in the building. I think sister said, she said here you go. The TV is the babysitter, and they get confused as to what men want and try to be what they see on TV, movies, and social media. Couldn't say it. And I'm, and I'm glad it came from a sister, because it seems like when it comes from us, it's received as hate. It's received as, we're women bashing, we're hating, we're slut shaming, we're going to slut shame because we want y'all sisters not to be slut. We don't want our women to be whores and sluts.
Nope.
We thought the black man don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So let me look every black woman out. Hey, we don't want that. We want y'all to be good, wholesome, respectable, loyal, affectionate women so we can grow as a nation. No, black woman, we do not want to whore you out. We might whore out a Gentile, but we don't want to whore you out. Now I'm letting the brother.
The sister said something.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. What she said?
Oh no, I was just seeing what Sister Tickful said. She said, y'all men get caught up too. And that's true. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a two-way street. That's what I was explaining earlier. It's a dog-eat-dog world, because when you really think about it, each gender is utilizing what they got to get what they want. So for example, how a man get caught up, right? In 2 Ezra 4:14, it tells you, O ye men, it is not the great king nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them or have the lordship over them? Are they not women? So verse 22 says, by this also ye must know that women have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? So we know this is the case. You know what I'm saying? This is where you get your Johns, your Tricks, your Beta Male, Simpson, etc. Because women, on the flip side of manipulation that men use, the flip side for women is persuasion. So you have manipulation and persuasion interacting with one another, and it's a continuous cycle back and forth. So yes, men do get caught up in the persuasion of a woman, just like a woman gets caught up in the manipulation of a man.
Con. And I'm gonna let the good brother Cosmic Cal P. Shalom,
man.
Good brother.
Cal P.
Man, peace to the family, man. Peace to the Israelites, man. How y'all brothers doing today?
Doing good, brother. About yourself?
All good.
Oh man, it's glorious out here up in Michigan, man. It's a wonderful day, man. This was a interesting topic, man. You did
right now we on Pimps and Hoes. Right now we on Pimps and Hoes.
Hold on. Pimps and Hoes and UFOs.
Right.
Hey, man. It's sad for my people, because I don't think most women who get these BBLs are I don't want to say in the right mind state, but they have been put in a situation where the dollar is number one in this capitalistic society, even more so than your respectability, your ability to be a mother. The capitalist society that we live in puts so much pressure on not just our women, but our people as a people, period. You dig what I'm talking about? That it puts the dollar at number one over your health, over the long-term care of your children. You dig what I'm talking about? And men go through these same things too. This ain't a bashing thing on women. You dig what I'm talking about? But it's really, they've really just dumbed our people down to the point to where we don't love each other. First of all, we don't love ourselves. So we come to a point to where we see the actions of the people are that they don't love each other because they haven't learned to love themselves first. They, like they say, you can't have two masters. You can't serve the creator and mammon. You can't serve that money. You dig what I'm talking about? But it's in our music. It's on our television all day. They telling our women they ugly. First of all, black women, y'all so fine. Y'all sweet as wine, baby. I'm telling you.
Say it again.
Let mom tell you something different. I got a black mama and black sisters and black aunties and black daughters. You dig what I'm talking about? Y'all something different. Y'all special. You dig what I'm talking about? And don't let these people beat you down and tell you that if your hair ain't straight, if it ain't blonde, if your eyes ain't blue, that you not beautiful. What I'm telling you is you are the standard of beauty. You dig what I'm talking about? And if ain't and if ain't nobody told you, let Cosmon tell you. Because I ain't gonna tell you nothing but what God love, and that's the truth. You see what I'm saying? Hey, but I wanted to just get it. I ain't gonna be long. I just got out the garden, and I just wanted to put a thought on everybody, not just women, on everybody, right? And this is coming from the book of Judgment, right? Chapter 38. I'm gonna read verse 1 and 2, and then I'm gonna drop down to 16, right? Okay, let me check this out. This chapter is called God Showeth the Mistake of Man's Judgment. Verse 1 say, God said, I said unto thee, O man, pursue thy wisdom after the manner of thy God. I go unto the beginning. I labor not so much to convert adults as to prepare the minds of the young. Don't they say it's easier to bend a sapling than it is to bend an old oak tree? That's why we got to get them young. We got to start now. And since we know better, we just got to do better. This ain't on nobody but us, especially black men. You dig what I'm talking about? You got to raise these sisters up and let them know that you know what the world's saying about you ain't real. You dig what I'm talking about? So let me drop down the cause see, we want to build a nation of people that's right in the mind and in the body, right? So the creator at this point is telling us, we know how to build warriors. We know how to build like fighters. Well, how do you build an industrious man of good wisdom? So this is what he's talking to. I'm gonna drop to verse 15, right? 15 says, behold, it hath been proven In The Warrior and Pugilist, How to Raise a Savage Man, by Flesh Diet, and by Inharmonious Surroundings. And in Nations and Tribes of Peace, How to Raise a Virtuous and Industrious Man on Herbs and a Fruit Diet. These are things for thee to learn, O man, going at the subject systematically to find the best way to make the best man and woman out of the infants that are entrusted to thee. These are your sons and your daughters, your nieces and your nephews, little dog down the block. You see what I'm saying? Not only as to diet, but as to clothing, and as to comfort and cleanliness, and to avoid disease, and as to strength and suppleness and swiftness, and as to virtue and modesty, and as to education, practical and theoretical. Now, one thing I've noticed, and this is not a knock, you dig what I'm talking about? Because I noticed this with many brothers too, is that the sisters that do stoop down to these levels have a certain je ne sais quoi, sexual avertness. You dig what I'm talking about? And are usually in the field where they are being seen and paid to be pretty. You dig what I'm talking about? But not smart. A lot of these people, if you talk to them, they're not intelligent. You dig what I'm talking about? I've noticed that about a lot of the people who take these drastic risks. You sit and you talk to them, and it becomes very apparent in the very first couple sentences out their mouth. You dig what I'm talking about? What they really about. So I think this is a very important part right here where it says, and as to education, practical and theoretical, and as to industry, because if they had something to do, they wouldn't be trying to get their ass fat to get that money. See what I'm saying? So, and as to industry and quick perception, and as to willingness to work for one another. If you notice, they only out there about self. I want this. I wanted to look like this. Me. You dig what I'm talking about? All eyes on me. You know what I mean? They throwing me them dollars. Everything is selfish based. You dig what I'm talking about? It's just about them getting to the bag, as they say. And so nobody works for one another. And to trades and occupations. Ask them ladies what they like to do. Can they, can you get out there and fix your oil? My 13-year-old daughter can. Can you change a tire? My 22-year-old can. Do you have an occupation? Do you have a trade? All my children know how to grow. Get out there. They got their own plots that they grow their own little vegetables and everything every year. So I gave them a trade. So you know what they stay trying to do? Get up under their daddy to get some more of this knowledge so they can go have an occupation from the trade that they have. And as to pastimes, amusements, and recreations, singing, dancing, with great joy and delight. So we're not telling you not to kill not to knock down your shine. Many of these sisters are up there dancing because they literally love dancing. That's what got them over the fear, that and a drink, got them over the fear to get up on the stage in the first place. That love of dancing. And as to worship, to rites and ceremonies, y'all listening how to build an industrious person? And as to acquiring seership and prophecy and signs and miracles, in suis and sargus, or clairvoyance and clairaudience, as to communing with the angels, and as to value of angels as teachers and instructors by tangible presence and audible voices. And yet above all things, thou shalt preserve liberty unto all. Cosmon ain't never told you to stop dancing. Cosmon told you to get your diet right and stop taking these dumbass chances of killing yourself. Sisters, do you know why they die? Most times it's not sepsis. That would be easy if you just got poisoned. You could probably see it coming on, get to the doctor, get you, get you some antibiotics. But that's not how you die, sis. And now they doing penis enlargements. Hilltop. They had penis enlargements on it, bro. They moving fat and breaking, and bro, it's crazy. What happens, sisters, is, let me tell you, you have vessels and veins in your backside that go down the back of your legs. Adding all that extra fat on there not only clogs them many times, but it pinches them, right? It pinches the blood vessels and causes clots. One day you out there running, you looking good. You just got your BBL done. You done laid on the couch for 2 months. You finally got back right. You can walk. You out there. You about to get your first jog in, right? You doing your stretches. You dig what I'm talking about? You hit your bottled water. You dig what I'm talking about? And you take that first step and you pass out and die from a heart attack. What happened? You had a blood clot that was in your hind parts that passed to your heart, clogged up your major vessels upside your left and right of your leg that shoot up your spine. Instantly, like that, you was just fine for 2 whole months. Instantly, you done loosened the clot and it went through and stopped your heart. Pretty young girl dead out here on the track looking, you look gorgeous. Dead at 24. You dig what I'm saying? So this is what's really going on. Know what you got ahead of you. And then some of these backwater bootleg, don't let these people shoot this shit in your body. They shooting liquid cement and gorilla glue. You dig what I'm talking about? All type of mess up in there, man. But look what they say. And yet, 18, and yet above all things, thou shalt preserve liberty unto all with pleasant and enjoyable discipline for everything, after the manner of my heavenly kingdoms, remembering that every faculty in everyone shall be cultivated to the utmost. This is what we forgetting. Don Yehuda, what we forgetting in our communities, for real, is to put creator first. We have stopped. We've stopped putting creator first, and then we wander around looking dumbfounded. Why don't nothing work? Well, let me tell you why nothing works. For the simple fact that the creator is sufficient for all, that if you do not have him as your focus, your number one, your head, your leader, everything you do will fail. Everything. Your life is to be a glory to the creator. So to do anything that's adverse to you is hating on him. anything you do for him to another person, right? You do these unselfishly for another person is doing for him, and it can't fail. We always worry about where we gonna get the money from. Don't nobody just go do. It ever been tight at the end of the month? You ain't know how this thing was gonna get paid, but somehow that thing got paid. Your homeboy been owing you $60 for 7 years. He come out of nowhere and give you that last little $60 to where you can put 10 in the tank and throw 50 on your bill. Don't it happen every time?
Hey Cal,
Yeah.
society did a marvelous job though on really wrapping the minds of our people, our men and women, especially our youth. You know what I'm saying? We're thinking that money is the begin and end all of everything.
Yeah, exactly. You dig what
So
I'm talking about?
they'll do anything for it. You know, just like you said, they don't put the creator first. They put the almighty dollar first.
Yeah. Well, the dollar is their God. It is the idol. It is the thing that they would do anything, even die for.
God, they're willing to die for it. They're willing to die for it now. Cause they going on in. I mean, just think about it. Men, we hate to go under the knife. Hell, you talking about a simple procedure. You know what I'm saying? A simple procedure, we hate to even do that. I remember my dad used to always joke about that. Like, ain't no such thing as a simple procedure. The way he just say, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how we
right
feel.
about that.
That's how we feel as men. And y'all just willing to go just for, I want a bigger ass. I want a bigger tits. Or, you know, my tits is stacked. I want to get them lifted up. You know, sometimes I don't blame them sisters.
Why they want the bigger ass though? We still got to go back. Why they want the bigger ass?
It's not for us.
First of all, the society told them you wasn't good enough. We have beat that into the society, not us, because we was getting the same whooping they was.
Right.
We got all the blonde hair, but the same. That's the same whooping though. That's the light against the dark. That's the tall against the short, the slim against the fat, aka the Willie Lynch syndrome, but it's really self-hatred.
Yep.
They did a number. Don Yehuda was right. They did a number on our people psychologically.
Man, I mean,
imagine.
To the point,
Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
I was just saying
they did it to the point where you know they put our women down so much to like we're like all she have done was look up to the slave master's daughters. You know, they got better dresses. You know, and then, you know, their hair, they could comb, brush their hair. Baby, your hair, you could do 1,000 things to this mug. Ain't no black man running around this motherfucker. You know what? I was like, the white man, hell, I'd be bald right there, right out the been bald. I don't want no damn white man, hell. I want this nigga hair that I got right here on my damn head. This is the most perfect hair on God's green earth. Why do you think they always want to put their feet on us and grab our hair and touch our hair all the damn time?
Because it's energetic. Because it's an energy.
It's an energy. It's a power in these damn things. You should want to blonde your damn hair. And you know what I'm saying? It's so many different things you could do, but you're taught that your hair is ugly. That's the black number one thing. That's the number one thing. That's what, you know, makes them feel like they're ugly or something. Your hair is beautiful. Do you want to walk around with damn cracker hair in our hair? I don't want that in my head.
Not only that, they told you, they told you that black was synonymous with evil. They called you black and then made it synonymous with evil. And hold on, the biblical text script puts sin itself at the feet of the black woman. Huh? We know by the biblical narrative, Eve was a black woman. Couldn't have been nothing but.
Said sin came through the woman.
She said she brought it in. Your religion makes you hate your sister and you don't even know it.
Damn.
But what they don't hearken on is the fact that they did. But you know what? They don't really expound on the fact that it was that black Negro that made the decision that got everything jacked the hell up. But you got people that's trying to put it at the feet of our sisters when in actuality it was a man and woman thing. We made that decision together. You know, they don't want to hark on that. Like, we in this together, we got jacked up together, we're gonna get out together. They don't want to do that. They just want to say, oh, hey, sister, you the one that did all this nonsense. It's your fault.
But remember, they do this systematically, right? Let's go back to the 1965 Civil Rights Act, right? You know, in 1969 they start giving us so-called welfare, right? But do you know what they did at the same time? They deindustrialized the inner cities where all the niggas was and moved the jobs out to where into the suburbs. And then, do y'all remember this? Because I'm old enough to remember this. I was born in the late 70s, came up in the 80s. Do y'all remember if your mama was on stamps, right? First of all, they owe us this shit. Now they giving it to immigrants. Now they giving it to Native Americans. Now they giving it to who's and ever coming into America, but they ain't giving it to black folks. What I'm trying to tell you is, do y'all remember when they made it illegal for the man to be in the home?
Right.
Do you remember?
I bring that out all the time.
He used to have to hide when the people came over and checked. He used to have to hide and duck out.
Hide in the closet.
Yeah, I
hide under the bed.
I remember getting.
Do y'all remember that?
I remember getting.
Hey, it's a movie. Yeah, it's a movie with James Earl Jones Jr. That's his name, James Jones Jr. James Earl Jones Jr.
Yeah, with the deep voice.
Right. Him. Yeah. It's a movie that he made back in the 70s or early 80s, showing that where the white woman come there, the social worker, and he in the closet, he the husband. But see, that's when they fired him off all the industrial jobs and the warehouse jobs all over America. Fired all the black men, all the black women, and then say, hey, black woman, you want some help? We got these things called food stamps here.
Gotta get rid of that nigga.
Yeah, get that nigga out the household. He can't be here. Well, damn, he can't be here. What is that about? So yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get you, and guess what? You don't have to work. We're gonna give you a food stamp. We're gonna give you food stamps and a welfare check. How about that? But you keep that damn man in the household.
And then
that's when the fuckery starts.
And then pump drugs into the neighborhood instead of giving them jobs. You dig what I'm talking about? Took all the trades and the industry type classes that used to go on all through the 60s, all through the 70s, all through to the mid 80s. I remember workshop and automotive being in school. You dig what I'm talking about? Many of us didn't even have that. I remember they start taking the pools out of schools.
Yeah, that's taking them trades out. Yeah, that's taking them trades out, because with a trade, you don't need a degree. Word of mouth will get you a job. Your skill set and word of mouth will get you paid every time.
And you know what that brought? But you know what that brought up in that house? That brought up the animosity between the woman and the man. And that was the very beginning. If y'all remember, that was the very beginning of I don't need no nigga. I can do this all by myself.
Do by myself. Yep. I'm a strong black woman.
Right. Yeah. You know where all that come from?
You've been strong. You've been strong. Listen, black woman, we couldn't even have did this shit without you.
Fast.
Nope. Fast. It takes both of us.
Did it without you.
It takes both of us.
The Salvation come through the woman, but it is on the backs of the men. Am I lying?
Facts.
Facts.
The women stand on our backs, and they birthed the new nation. Who gonna go on to birth the new nation? Who Jehovah I say will become supreme in all the world? Huh? How them people gonna be melanated? Jehovah gonna mix them all together. He gonna take the best of the best. Get over it. Get over it. Because in 100 years, you don't know what your grandchildren gonna be.
Right, right. Hey, Cal, you know they do a nice research, because all of these things that you and the other brothers are bringing out is well documented amongst the other nations that surround us. You know, the controlling caste of people, and there's reports like the origins of the female-headed black families, the Moynihan report, and others where they noticed and seen the trends of the black households and what these effects would do to our families. Doing this was our power base and our structure within our community. You know, the dissolving of the black family, like you said, taking out certain trades, certain levels of education, implementing other people to be above other people, you know, getting certain type of assistance, but you can't have the man in the house. All of these things were put into play because they knew that if they could disturb the black nucleus, it would, in essence, be what it is today, what we're seeing right now.
Facts. Now think of this. Think of this. You have been Aboriginal your whole life. You've been through wars. The war of 1776. You was in the war of 1812. You went through miscegenation and reclassification in 1824. You went through slavery. You went through Reconstruction. You went through the summers, the red summers of 1919, 1920, 1921, and 1922, when they was just killing niggas and wiping off whole cities.
Yep. That was Black Wall Street. That was Rosewood. That was Rosewood, Florida, Black Wall Street. Know what I'm saying? Tulsa, Oklahoma. That was cities in my state of Georgia that's underwater right now. They flooded out. Flooded us out.
Right
flooded
now.
us out. Drowned us on out. Right now, you can go. You know, cities underwater in Georgia.
Listen, you went through a reclassification again, 1920s. You got your land stolen in the late 40s and 1950s. They called you black and nigger, and they hated on you. But you know what they couldn't do? They couldn't break that family up. Even through slavery, your daddy worked his goddamn bones to death and went and got all his babies. Your mama worked her bones to death.
Hey,
and went
and
and got all the babies.
And when you say that, that literally happened. When they go see these slaves, bones, all the tissue. I mean, not the tissue, but the cartilage would be wiped out. They were just literally bone on bone, ankles just bone on bone, because they would work all day, walking, and lift up, and they had to pick up. I mean, to the cartilage, it was just no more. They was just literally bone on bone, and knees bone on bone. Crazy. No. But let me get this quick verse real quick. I think this is a problem we with the hoeing and pimping. The book of Proverbs chapter 3 verse 31. Envy not your oppressor and choose none of his ways. See, we envy. That goes back to what we just got through saying. Quit looking up to the white woman, the white man, and because that's who they mainly look up, and then it's everybody else, and then it's your people at the bottom. Your people is the last people that you know what I'm saying, look up to for any kind of, know what I'm saying, structure or any kind of excellence. We are the definition of excellence on this world, on this earth. But let me get the book of Sirach too, the book of also Ecclesiastes, chapter 26, verse 10. And this right here, this is a key for making hoes. If your daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. You can't be giving them, you know what I'm saying? You can't be raising your kids to be free thinking and free spirited. You think for them. You the parent. You do the thinking. You know what I'm saying? You do all the things. You make them, they work for you. A child works for the kid, you know what I'm saying, for the, you know what I'm saying, the parent. You don't let the child, because the child will do any damn thing. So you got to make him go straightly. But that's all I got to say on Pimps and Hoes. Final thoughts on Pimps and Hoes. We're gonna get right into the UFOs.
All right. Well, look, just this. Remembering that every faculty and everyone shall be cultivated to the utmost, teaching them from the first that the eye of the Creator is upon them, and that his hand is stretched over them to bless them according to their goodness, purity, love, gentleness, and wisdom, and that they shall not own or possess individually, but that all things are the Creator's, and they themselves are angels in mortal form, created by the Creator to rejoice and to help one another forever. You dig what I'm talking about? That's what's going on. You want to raise, you got Hilltop right. He right in a way. You gotta give them a little liberty, but you gotta raise them up in the way they should go. You dig what I'm talking about? And the best we can do now is give them everything we got, so when they go out to this world, and you dig what I'm talking about. And that's another thing. Have y'all noticed this? When we came up, they was trying. Soon as we was 18, they was kicking us out the crib. I know guys who lived at their homes with their mothers till they was in their late 20s. Their whole family stayed together. But you know what he walked out with? All that money he was able to save from the time he went to college from 18 to 28.
Mm-hmm.
They kept that money circulating. You dig what I'm talking about? In their family unit, in their little tribe. You dig what I'm talking about? They kept that money circulating. So when he did go out at 27, 26, 27, 28 years old, he got a house instantly. He got a car instantly. He didn't go work for nobody else. He went and got an LLC and did a DBA and started his own online business.
Mm-hmm.
These young boys coming out balling in these white neighborhoods, in these Mexican neighborhoods, because they've learned to keep it in house.
You know where we see that right now? With foreigners that come over and they all shack up in the same crib and they practice good economics.
Right.
The mestizos, the Mexicans.
Not just the Asians, the Africans, they all do it.
The Africans, the Asians, any of the immigrants, what they do is they consolidate their money. Wu-Tang said it the best. Wu-Tang said it the best, Don Yehuda. They said, my seeds marry his seeds, marry Sadoc's seeds. That's how we keep Wu-Tang money all up in the family.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? We keep that money in-house circulating. They say in the Chinese and Jewish neighborhoods, $1 circulates through that community 18 times before it leaves out. And guess where they send it to, Don Yehuda? They send it straight over there to the banks in Israel. They send it straight over there to their central bank, helping their people out, because our dollar is worth more than their dollar where they come from.
Well, you know how long our dollar circulate in our community? Only 2 damn hours.
2 hours. I was gonna say you said it before I could get it.
Hey, that means you done got your check, you done cashed your check, and you already done spent it with somebody else. Outside your community.
Outside your community.
That's crazy, man.
Do you know by the numbers last year in 2021, right? By the billions of dollars we spent, if we put our heads together, listen, I did some calculations. They say we only 13% of the population, right? Roughly about 50 million. right? What they say, about 13% of the population. If
Mhm.
we had 13% or 10% of that 13%, 1.3% of the people put their heads together, right? Do you know we'd be the 8th richest country in the world?
Yep.
It, if half of us just got together, we'd be the 5th richest country, you know, in the world. So the question should be, Sadat, the question should be, Hilltop, when we buying land next to each other.
Right, right. It's like Sister Weezy just said. Our ancestors didn't go to college, but they knew how to build up our communities. You know what I'm saying? They built up cities, communities, and they ain't go to, you know what I'm saying? They had to go to college. They gathered together, you know what I'm saying? What we
And
call,
they
you know what I'm
did it
saying?
together. They built everything.
So on
There
that
ain't
note,
nothing we didn't build in this country. I'm talking about we built up Washington, D.C. We built up New York. We built up Miami. First of all, not just once, multiple times.
Con.
We have been here in America consistently since we've been here since man was here, right? But what I'm saying is, after the Great Deluge, we've been here consistently 25,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you built the pyramids. Let's get that understood in America. You carved out the Mississippi. That's not natural.
Right.
Don't no goddamn lake that big flow from south to north in the northern hemisphere. They dredged that thing.
Con. Some people call it the Nile River.
You can call it whatever you want to, but I'm telling you, your great granddaddy and them built that motherfucker.
Right.
They built LA. They built Seattle. They built Houston.
Yeah, LA actually was founded by a sister.
Come on, Khalifa.
Actually founded LA.
Khalifa.
Come on, man. Sisters, y'all gotta wake up. Really, we have been following y'all.
Mm.
We don't whoop the ass, but you tell us who asked to whoop.
Right. So let me get this scripture. Let me get this scripture, and then we're gonna go ahead and jump on into the UFO. You know what I'm saying? And this is for the sisters and the brothers. This is for the pimps and the hoes. And now and then we're gonna get into the UFOs. First Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. And you can take that man out and you can put the woman in there. That's both of us. We got to put away the childish things and gather together with the love. Stop being the pimps. Stop being the hoes. Let's be the wives and the husbands again.
You know where it started at, though?
They're going to start with the woman
here.
right now. She got the power. I mean, the power.
No. Like Tupac said, I may not be the man who actually, I may not live long enough to see the change, but I'm going to spark the brain
of the
that
youth.
sparks the change. You dig what I'm talking about? So with conversations just like this, because you know what we do? We take what we learn and we go tell it to our family. A man can only be expected to reach as far as his arms. So you see what I'm saying? So that's just everybody around you, right in your wheelship. You dig what I'm talking about? Right in your house. You got to take care of you first. And then as we take care of our own, now we got Cosma, we got Hilltop, we got Zadok, we got Don Yehuda with 4 families geared towards communal living and the love of the creator, right? And then this other brother over here, and this other sister over here, and that other brother over here, and then we get together. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna take time, but that's gonna happen soon. You better hope. Okay, two things y'all better hope. You better hope before they drop the bottom out of our capitalistic society that you got your shit together. That's one. And two, this is to my government. What you bet not do is wake these black women up. You better let them sleep. You better keep them dumb. You better keep them shooting that BBL shit in their goddamn face. You better keep them stupid. You better keep them low. Because if you ever get them angry, guess who come outside then? Huh? Guess who come outside? That hurt ass nigga you've been whooping on for the last 200 years. With a spirit of vengeance on him. You don't want it. Don't nobody want it. But when mama say, whoop his ass, what happens? You better leave our people alone and get our shit together. You better just give us what we own, give us what you owe, so we can get our own shit together. Because if mama ever wake up, if that lion stop being crouching down, if she stand up, guess who coming? You can't even sleep in your house good if your woman ain't right down your hooter. You can't sleep in your house good.
Right. You can't.
You can't go home and your woman's feeling disrespected and she ready to go ride. You can't go to, ain't no laying down. You better leave this black woman alone and let her get her some time, give her her shit and let her get us together. Because if you ever piss her off, if she ever wake up and y'all see the feminine energy building and building and building, if y'all ain't noticed, the little guy been whooping the big guy for the last 20 years. The underdog been winning. The female has been stepping up. What they don't know is they don't know the love our women got for us. They ain't gonna never leave us. They talk that, oh, I don't need a man shit. Yeah, they do, and they know it. Because most of them who got, and this is not for women who got good jobs and all that stuff. I'm talking about women who say they don't need men. Most of them are miserable. You dig what I'm talking about? Miserable. Because they dealing with a weak ass, mealy mouth, jack leg ass motherfucker she ain't supposed to be with. No way.
They want the simps, you know. They want the simps, you know. Not these righteous women up in here, but not these righteous women up in this chat.
Oh no! The creator gang in the chat. Oh no! Oh no!
But most of our sisters want a simp. If he ain't a simp, he gonna eat a booty hole out, nigga. You better let me put on this. Oh, next week. Oh man, next episode I ain't gonna get into it. But y'all ever see the title of the next one of these right here? It's just going off the chain. I ain't gonna get into that. But this is what I am gonna say. The book of Zephaniah 2 verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. That's talking about you Negroes. You Negroes, gather together, please. Now, with that, we're finna get into this UFOs. I know the Wasp got some good stuff to talk about, but I'm gonna play a couple of videos. Cosmic Hell, just hold on. I'm finna grab this thing real quick. Yeah.
the Honorable Elijah Muhammad started learning and teaching of this great wheel called the mother plane around 1932. 10 years later, in 1942, after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, the temple, as it was called at that time, was raided by law enforcement officials under the guidance of the FBI. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad's home was also raided, and the teachings that Master Farad Muhammad had left with him were taken from the home and the temple. Later, he was questioned by the FBI on the drawing of the wheel and his writing about it that they had taken from the temple. And he explained to the government of the United States and to the FBI its aim and purpose, who made it, and why it is now above America. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it was a masterpiece of mechanics and engineering, and that nothing like this has ever been seen before. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it is the greatest military weapon ever developed in the annals of the history of Allah, God, and man in this universe. He said that the vision of this wheel was seen thousands of years before it came into being or became a reality. He said that this weapon was made for the purpose of destroying this present world in the final battle with the forces of evil that had ruled our present world. Some of the prophets were given the ability to envision it and were terrified and overcome by the majesty of such a dreadful weapon that was the greatest mechanical object ever made. A masterpiece developed by the master to assert his mastery, that he had come to set down the tyrants that had ruled humanity for 6,000 years, and to set justice in the earth, and to set up a kingdom of peace on this earth that would never be destroyed. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that this great wheel was made for military purposes, for it was to engage in the great battle in the sky that would end this world and usher in that world that the prophets exclaimed would come at the end of the 6,000-year rule of the enemy of Allah, God, and the enemy of the aboriginal people of the earth.
This is Dabu7. It's been a while since we've took a deep dive out in space and looked at things floating around out there that raise some questions. Now we have a massive object that is making its way through the stereo ahead HI2. I'm going to hit start, and you're going to see this. Ladies and gentlemen, I've covered a lot of stuff throughout all the years. Things by the sun, broad daylight, off of satellite imagery. I've never witnessed an object of this size making its way through space, caught on the cam, and it seems like when they pick this up right around frame 160, they cut it out. You're going to see it makes it right out here, right out to back here, and then they're going to cut it. This is Earth. That is Earth right there. Terra. See? Gone. They clip it. That's what happens. So here it comes into the frame. It actually sneaks in behind this right here. And you're going to see it's like a huge wheel. It is insane. Perfectly circular. And it's like a cross. With a circle in the middle. Zooming in here so you can see it better. and I'm going to take it through a couple frames. This is just amazing. I'm going to leave a clip. You guys can go to February 20th, I believe, is where I started this on the HI2, and you guys can go through it yourself. You can see this massive object. Let me back it up there. That is super defined. Look at that. This is creeping through space right now. Caught on the HI2, and then they cut the feed. Real deal, massive object. The distance, we don't know. Okay? But I'm just going to tell you this. It is massive. It is intelligence. Right there. This isn't just some asteroid. So keep making excuses for some of you that keep sticking your head back in the sand. There's a reason they announced a space force. And for all you that believe space is fake, they have damaged you to hell and back. This is Dabu7. If you want some more goods, meet me over.
Hey, yo, Hilltop.
The hump that you can help get us over.
Okay.
Hey, those things are real.
Okay, but if there are craft, there are beings.
Okay, people have asked me about, I call them vehicles, okay?
Right.
Now, I did not call them objects. That was too neuter for me.
Okay.
I had a Stanford professor said, you ought to call them objects. No. They have all the qualities of a vehicle. They can move, they're just like a missile or anything like that. So that much we can say about them, for sure.
Okay.
So I'm calling it a vehicle.
Okay.
Okay, somebody comes along and says, well, now where would you manufacture one that's 2.5 Earth lengths long? And that's a hard question to answer. However, if you think of it in terms of its living entity, it's just another kind of thing that we've got in our universe. And it can grow and grow and grow and grow.
Okay,
So it can be an EMV and it can itself have life.
Uh-huh. So are you not positing the idea that those vehicles contain, beings who are, maybe like us?
Yeah, I only go along with government images. And if you want to know about people kind of thing, there is the ship that picked up the Voyager capsule at Alameda Naval Shipyard. And they have a picture there of I think it's the Apollo flight that Buzz and Neil were on. But anyway, there is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
well, what?
It's safe. 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Have you heard about Clark McClellan's statement about that?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me drop that link back up in here. I'm gonna drop that link, and y'all want to come on? I know I think down here who the thing messed up. Here go the link in the chat. Man, I was trying to find the one with the Puerto Rican guy that seen the he seen the ship with the black beans on it, and they made sure they told him. He said not Negro though. He was looking so scared, man. I was trying to find that. When y'all find that, when y'all drop in the link for me or something, man. Let me check this right here. All right, brother. Brother Cosman P.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I know you
Hey,
said you want to get.
yeah, I just
Go
gotta.
ahead.
I just want to. We into the UFO part, and as y'all know, or you might be
Right.
aware, if you got an Owaspy, you know, it break down. You know what I mean? The ships, the Etherian ships. You dig what I'm talking about? And when I say ship, I mean just like you gotta you want to travel over water, you get on a boat. You want to travel in the air, you get in a plane. You want to travel over the ground, you get in a car or a motorcycle or a hang glider, or you get into a car. You dig what I'm talking about? Just like you have a vehicle. You dig what I'm talking about? It's a vehicle. And since angels are men, one-time living men on earth, and since men don't have wings, right? Neither do angels. So I wanted to just get this out first, that there are many types of ships, all broken down and described in Owaspy. I just want to give a few of them, and then I want to read something for the women. This is for women. You dig what I'm talking about? One type of ship called an aeroboat is called an abatos, and atavasic is another type, and eravania is another type. An ariata or ariata or ariata. You did what I'm talking about, and that should sound a little bit familiar because Moses supposedly landed his ships in the Mount of Ararat and Ararata. Okay. There's another called an Avalanza. There's another called a Bienfloat. Another called Kalios. There's one called a Kaupan. There's one called an Essaline. There's one called a Koalu. There's one called an Onaya. There's another called an Otavan. There's a one called an Ometer or an Obeja, which is the same thing. It's just pronounced in different languages. There's another one that is like a portable. Okay, I want to get this picture in your mind. It's called a Padmazar. A Padmazar. It is like how would I picture this? A floating state. Does that make sense? Like, imagine you could pick the whole state of Georgia up, and float it in the air and move it where you wanted it to move. That is called the Padmazar, and it comes with everything on it: schools, doctors, places for recreation, buildings, administration. It comes with everything, all in a movable landmass. Okay, that's a Padmazar. You did what I'm talking about. There's also a fire ship. Guess what the fire ship name is? Y'all listen, because they told you this was an angel. Nope, it's what the angel rides in, and why y'all mistaken that they got wings. This ship is called a seraphim. Y'all ever heard of the seraphim and the cherubim? A seraphim is a ship that angels ride in. They're a fire ship. It's a ship that looks like fire. You dig what I'm talking about? But I want to explain the atavasic, how it looks right? One of these ships is called an Atavasi. I want to explain its goddess who is driving it, right? And it gives a description in Owaspy how it looks, right? And when and then I'll just let me just break this down real quick, and I got to go, right? This is the book of Apollo, son of Jehovah, right? And it says, and I'm gonna just go to 5 where it say right here, the Atavasi, right? This certain Atavasi is of the third resurrection, so it's Etherian, right? Okay, so in 6 it says, and these groups were arranged into combinations. Every combination, excuse me, let me go to 7. At midnight, the sea of fire, which is what this Atavasi looks like a ocean on fire. You dig what I'm talking about? The Atavasi reached Shinvat, or the border of our vortex, which carries our moon in it, right? Just beyond the orbit of the moon. And listen how big it is. And in size, twice the moon's diameter. Here, the ship halted for hours and then began to descend, and rapidly, fearful to behold, becoming more scarlet within the vortex, but growing larger and definite in figure. And lo and behold, when the Atavasi drew near, it was in the form and figure of the brides and bridegrooms of the Jehovah. These are one-time men and women who graduated from this first, second, third resurrection and are now about to inherit the Etherian kingdoms. They have, because they can't fly in space, you dig what I'm talking about? They have to have a ship that takes them there. So we see a goddess coming down to get them in this thing they say it looks like a sea of fire, but it's twice the size of the moon. Pay attention. Right? And lo and behold, it drew near in the form and figure of the brides and bridegrooms. So it's changing, because the brides and bridegrooms are in squares, they're lined up in circles, triangles, stars, hearts. So it's changing its form to as it gets closer, it's boom, looking like a heart, boom, looking like a square, boom, looking like a circle, because the angels are on the ground, are in different colors arranged in these in Apollo's heavenly kingdom, right? So it's acquiescing or showing love to them as it's coming down to the kingdom, right? It had, listen, 50,000 curtains and 100,000 banners. And what makes the comet look like a comet, that streaky stuff, those are banners. The angelic host does that on purpose, right? And the host within the ship, listen how many already just came with her. 7 million of souls bore each a streamer of phosphorescent light of all colors, shades, and tints, and arrayed in symbols of the name Apollo. Unlike all other Etherian ships of fire that had yet visited the Earth's heavens, it was provided with openings on the bottom, 500,000 in number, and 500,000 number, which were the places of entrance and exit. So these windows that you could look down through as you coming down would open up, and people could enter and out of them, and there's 500,000 of them. And the openings were studded with crystals of ceaseless fire, of all conceivable colors, shades and tints and sizes and figures, curves, circles, angles, crescents, and so on. And up within the openings were the crystal and opaque chambers provided for the heirs of the third resurrection. And yet within these chambers, listen, were the reports of the guardian angels, of the lives and good work heretofore done by every man and woman of all the 7,000 million. So that's 2 billion. She got 7 million with her. She coming to pick up 2 billion people. Angelic spirits raised up through God's heavenly heavens into the creator's etheric kingdoms. That's where we going. You dig what I'm talking about? So she got a ship with 7 million attendants on it, coming to pick up 2 billion people. How massive is the ship? Well, they said it was twice the size of the moon. That should tell you how big this thing is, right? Okay, let me get down. And look, they got, whatever your whole life you had did in your whole life, they got it written out in this little room for you. When you go there to lay back, kick back, sip a pina colada, you dig what I'm talking about? You and God chopping it up, you know what I mean? Y'all blowing on some of that good. You dig what I'm talking about? You like, man, how I do, God? He gonna whip up your book real quick, like, man, you was rocky in the beginning, but you did good, dog. Come on in, cuz. You dig what I'm talking about? And y'all gone to the etheric heavens. He said, and yet within these chambers were the reports of the guardian angels of the lives and good work heretofore done by every man and woman of all the 2,000 million who were to ascend to Jehovah's higher heavens. But in all the records, there was not recorded one evil thing or dark deed or selfish thought created and washed you clean. For of these things the ascended host had long since purged themselves. Ain't no burning forever in a lake of fire. Till they were gems of pure light of the Father of all. High up within the ship were the beams and network and the timbers and ropes and arches. And around about the whole ship was the photosphere of its power. So it was glowing light, fiery looking, like the sun, so that the whole Atavacid was like a crystal ship within a globe of phosphorescent light. And yet, in fact, the ship was the true light, and the angels, the light of that, and the angels, the light of that light. Whilst the photosphere was really the shell of darkness made reflective. Look at this. This then was the size of the Atavacid. Listen how big this thing is. 2,000 miles east and west and north and south diameters, and 7,000 miles high. And the ship within it, there was a ship within a ship. And the ship within it was 100 miles east and west and north and south diameters, and 200 miles high. As the earth is opaque with a transparent vortex around it, so not so, but opposite is the structure of an Etherian Atavacid, being light inhabitable within as well as without, like the Etherian world in the firmament. As Jehovah maketh worlds and sendeth them forward in the places of his firmament, so in imitation of him, his Etherian gods and goddesses make Atavacids to traverse space from star to star. This is what's going on. No spooky shit. And from one Etherian region to another. Great in wisdom and power are Jehovah's Etherian gods and goddesses. Yet they too were once but men and women with physical bodies.
Hey, they want to know. Hey, they want to know. I ain't mean to cut you off, but they want to know who is Apollo.
Okay, I know y'all heard about the blonde hair white guy from Europe.
Right,
who is,
Zeus son Apollo.
yeah, right. You hear about that? Well, that is a memory. That is a allegorical tale, right? Told about the 19th true God of this planet. He was born here, a man named Apollo, and he was Ahuin. So if y'all don't know what Ahuin means, for the lack of a better word, he was a Negro, Apollo Black. Huh? Hate on him now. Say he ain't real now. Say it's all Marvel and made up DC Comics. No, he was the 19th true God on this planet. You don't even know. Huh? During the 19th arc cycle after the creation of man. What? 57,000 years after man was created. True God, Apollo, was here. But let me break it down to here, because here go a wow moment. We didn't read all this stuff. This is amazing, but watch this. The creator said, I have given power to spirits of the newly dead to clothe themselves from the atmosphere with corporeal semblances of flesh and blood. Listen to this. And to my exalted atmospherian angels, I have given power to clothe themselves from ether in forms of light. But watch this. But to my exalted Etherian angels, right? So they even brought it down from the low angels to the middle angels to the high angels, right? But to my exalted Etherian angels, I have given power to clothe their host with ships of fire and otavans and atavases. But watch this. Watch this. We got to read down to 2, because this is why this is so important to you, sisters. Listen who driving. Listen who the goddess is. Not God, goddess. As a matter of fact, she is higher than Apollo. She got more rank than Apollo. Apollo, just the god of this lowly ass planet. She got Etherian realms. Huh? Listen. This another black woman. Listen. Saventi, Marshallus, for the host of Apollo. This is like the marshal. This the dude that makes sure all the rites and ceremonies and everything is going right. Everybody's supposed to be in a place. If somebody's trying to step up to God, they gonna whoop them first. This is a woman. She just the marshal for God, Apollo at the time. Listen, Saventi, Marshallus, for the host of Apollo. She had with 10,000 marshals. Look at this woman. And 50,000 respondents of ceremonies made ready to receive the host of the Atavasi. Commanded by who? By Semayad. Semayad, listen to her. Listen to her rank, because they give her a rank. Goddess of Duiji in Etheria. Goddess of Nod and Rak and Jaya 38. That's a high thing to say that. Once you know Jaya 38, that's a high Etherean realm. Well known to Apollo and to Phaja, god of Norse, long residence of in Etheria. But look who driving. Sisters, listen up. If you black, this is why you should get back in line with the creator. Listen, this is the woman, the goddess, driving the ship. They describe her. Listen. Simead was a small woman, dark and of deep love, most jovial of goddesses. Come on. Your Bible can't tell you why you worth something. Your Bible can't tell you, your God can't tell you what happens to you after you die. What is your spiritual progression, sisters? You are become Simead. higher than God in this earth. Listen to what they say. Simeon was a small woman, dark and of deep love, most jovial of goddesses, and had long looked forward with joy to her pleasure of bringing so large a ship to deliver 2,000 millions or 2 billion of the Creator's brides and bridegrooms into Ethereal worlds. Even God's hope and wish. Why did they send Simeon? Because she had long looked forward with joy to her pleasure of bringing so large a ship to deliver 2,000 million of the Creator's brides and bridegrooms into the Ethereal worlds. And so, when the Atavacid was about to land in Gal, Simeon looked out from the clusters of central stars, the ornaments of the throne within the ship. So there's a ship within a ship with a throne in it that got literal stars. Could you imagine a sun? A small sun sitting in the middle of this ship. This light is unbearable. She's so high, even the gods gotta look away. Watch this. Her light's so bright. Look at this sister. Huh? This why you the shit. Right? This why you that thing. Huh? The ornaments of the throne within the ship. To see the host who were assembled beneath, she looked out, and joyously she clapped her hands with delight, whereupon she was saluted by Apollo and Phasia, and by God and his lords. Notice, there is a God who is true God sitting in the throne, who has been put there by Apollo. Apollo is what you would misunderstand as an archon. He is the boss of the 19th arc cycle after the creation of man. He the nigga. And while he gone doing what he do, he sits somebody in his stead. That head managerial spirit is God, a one-time man. Apollo never asked to be praised. True God never does. Right? Presently, the mighty vessel landed and anchored fast, and the ship of Apollo was moved up aside and made fast to the Atavacid. Meantime, Simeon came forth out of the ship and was received in the arms of Saventi, the marshalless of Apollo, and then proceeded to the throne of God. What? Listen to what she say. By the grace and love of Jehovah, I come, O God, and to thee, O Apollo, most wonderful of earth-born gods. He from here, fellas. This what Creator got for you. Don't stray. This is why purity of body is necessary. This is why we say abnegation of self and doing good works. Huh? Why? Because you, Don Yehuda, are guaranteed. You, Hilltop, are guaranteed to reach the Godhead. One day you're going to be God Hilltop. One day you're going to be God Sadak. This is why we're telling you today, come back to Creator. This is why your brother over here screaming. Come on. Y'all playing. Street lights on. You know we're going to get a whooping. Come on. Come on, Hilltop. Come on in here. You dig what I'm talking about? Look. But look what she get to do. Look what she get to do. In the voice of Jehovah, I'm going to drop down to verse 9. In the voice, listen, man, just imagine this in your mind. Imagine this in your mind. True God allows you to sit on his throne and the light of the Creator drop through you and speak through you. Look at what's happening, y'all. Look. And Jehovah spake through Simeon. The Creator spoke through the Etherian goddess. Huh? Well, hold on. Let me drop back a little bit so you can see what's happening. Right? And Simeon went and sat on the throne, saluting all the assemblage by making the sign of the Creator's name with her right hand, which was answered by 3 billion spirits. And now the musicians played and sang the stars of Jehovah. Meanwhile, the all light began to descend thick and fast on Simeon's head, so brilliant that many could not look thereupon. And Jehovah spoke through Simeon, saying, I blow my breath upon a corporeal world, and man springeth forth into life, the highest of my created lights. In the womb of my, or the or earth, I fashioned his spirit. When he was shapely and white, I delivered him. I want y'all to understand, she opened her mouth. The Creator don't got. Creator has words, right? But he's speaking the soul of a thing. So imagine when you hearing this voice saying, I blow my breath upon a corporeal. It is vibrating in your whole soul. Huh? When he is shaped, look what he say. In the womb, I fashioned him, right? And I created him my highest of lights. In the womb of I fashioned his spirit. When he is shapely and white, I delivered him. We ain't talking about no white skin. I opened the heaven of suns, and I warm his soul. Brighter than diamonds, he cometh forth. This is these brides and bridegrooms she coming to get. And they can't even look at this light. Male and female, they come as stars for my everlasting worlds, dressed as brides and bridegrooms for my chambers of light and love. In my arms shall they be blessed forever. In my mansions, rejoice forever. Huh?
Con. Brother Don Yehuda. UFOs, man. UFOs. What you got to say, Brother Don Yehuda? UFOs, man. You know what I'm saying? We seen with Farrakhan, well, you know, he remember, you know what I'm saying, out here in Phoenix, Arizona, where I reside right now, the Nation of Islam always had a mansion out here. And what he was talking about, the FBI came after Elijah Muhammad talked about it and described it now to a T. He was talking about the mothership, but he was talking about the other ships that come out the mothership. And the beings, we see the NASA scientists. Hey, man, these are black beings, man, very black, getting off and on, you know, the Saturn, the rings of Saturn and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? They out there, man. Niggas here, niggas there, niggas everywhere. The crackers got them scared, man. I couldn't find the one with the Puerto Rican, man. He was so scared to say, he made sure he said, not a Negro, because they told him, you say that's a damn Negro, you gonna get it. You gonna get it. UFOs, Brother Don Yehuda, UFOs.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ancient writings about UFOs, about beings coming from outer space. I mean, there's a lot of accounts of people that have allegedly interacted with UFOs, have been abducted by UFOs, experimentations that being done by them. And there's also the misinformation also out there that we have to contend with, because you have government programs like Majestic 12 or MJ12 and the Project Galileo and things of that nature, which they said were debunked. So we don't know exactly what to believe or what not to believe. So we got to probably just go back into the ancient records and believe the forefathers and foremothers with the information. I mean, if we just even take just Genesis chapter 1, the creation story and account, I think it vividly shows a picture of what they call aliens, but an angelic host coming down and actually terraforming the planet and prepping the planet for mankind. When you look at the word God that's utilized in Genesis 1, and I know my WASPy creator game people love to bring this out, is that it's a plural, which is Elohim, the singular being Eloah. So we know that's not the singular version of that word in the text. It's Elohim. So when you look at that word Elohim, it actually means it's grammatically plural noun for gods or deities or angels. So we see that that term is utilized in Genesis 1 in the plural sense. So that means that there's a host. We know a host means a band or a company of people. So there's a host of angelic or higher level beings coming down into the third dimension or to our planet, and then they're terraforming. And so then when you even go to terms like the Spirit of God, we know that the Spirit, according to the Hebrew, is the ruach. It either means spirit or it means wind. You know what I'm saying? So there's accounts. This is when you start going into the sources from other nations of people, their origin stories, because we know that there's origin stories, just like the flood story, that other groups of people have into account in their histories, in their oral traditions that kind of specify the same thing as the biblical narrative. So when you go to the Edo people of southern Nigeria and Benin, which, you know, to all extent and purposes is our people, they have an origin story of the sons of Osenoboa, beings or Elohim that came from outer space, that came down to the planet, and they terraformed the planet. And they used these vortexes or vortices to separate the water from the ground. This is something that's very similar to what is mentioned in the Owaspe. You know what I'm saying? That they use the vortex or the vortices, you know, the cyclone that's creating like a vacuum or a power tunnel that's making a separation. You know, this is in the Edo people's origin stories of creation. Then you have the Filipino creation origin of the Tagalog, that they say that their account is a giant bird that hovers over the waters and creates a vortices to separate the waters and create lands. So we see that even in the Genesis account in Genesis 1 and 2, it says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit or the wind of Elohim or God or the angelic host moved upon the face of the waters. And the angelic host said, let there be light, and there was light. So as we read down the narrative, they were going through various steps, various terraforming situations, similar to, if anybody is familiar with the movie Poseidon, and they had the built white dudes come, and he took this thing and he started dissolving and fell in the water. That was their account of a form of terraforming the planet. His blood and his DNA created the plants, this, that, and the third. Well, in the origin story, it says beings from a higher level or outer space or the heavens or the skies came down to the planet. So we see this just in the very first book of the Bible, which is Genesis. You know what I'm saying? As far as a host of deities, gods, or angels coming down to the planet and then creating everything that we know, that we witness and are a part of today. So I believe that, you know, the accounts of angels and the angelic host is true. But I would also have to say on the side note that we have to be careful of what information we're actually reading into and what we believe and what they're disseminating, because we also know that the governments are using certain ancient information and technology to their own means, meaning that they have projects like Project Bluebeam, where they can actually create holograms into the sky and make it seem like real things are actually happening before our eyes in the heavens. And like I said, they have things like Majestic 12 that they had on books. You know, they have documents that they're declassifying as far as what they're known now as UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful where the information is coming, because me personally, I feel like, you know, if the angelic hosts were coming down, they're not going to shuck and buck. They're not going to hide. They're not going to do none of those things. They're going to make their presence known. Because if they're a higher being, if they're technologically, spiritually, intellectually at a very vastly higher level than us, they ain't got to shuck and buck with us. They ain't got to hide their hand with us because they can do what the hell they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it. You know what I'm saying? So I believe there are heavenly hosts that's identified as previously UFOs, now UAPs. But I do believe that, you know, man in his uninfinite wisdom is trying to imitate these things in order to get an upper hand on society. It's almost like the book of Eli, when the bad guy was like, I need the Bible, I need the book. You know, I was alive before the destruction. I seen what it did to people. You know what I'm saying? He needed it in order to control the masses. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like a butter knife. You can use it to spread butter, or you could use it to jug a nigga to death. But it's however you're using it. So they're using this information to try to compel the masses to some phenomena that's going to happen. They're going to create the problem, and then they're going to try to give us the solution. So we have to be careful of these things. But everything that the brother brought out, you know what I'm saying? I want to look deeper into that understanding also. But like I said, even within our holy scriptures, within the Bible, I believe that it gives a detailed account of what we call aliens. It's just translation wise, it doesn't come across like that. That's why it's very important that you get a Hebrew Aramaic concordance, that you get these other extra biblical sources that can help you translate the words to their various meaning, because language is very essential into understanding everything that's going on. If you don't have a grasp on language and the origin of language and etymology and things of that nature, then you could be hoodwinked and bamboozled into believing any damn thing.
100% facts on that one.
Hey, brothers of dark, man, UFOs, man, like what you think about them, you know what I'm saying? And the connection to our people with the UFOs, the beings, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you think about it. What do you think about UFOs and the connection to our people, the damn Negroes, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of? You know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. You know, coming up in the school of thought that I first came up in is being a Hebrew Israelite, learning just these little fractional parts of the scriptures based upon you know, what these different prophets or priests or whatnot have seen or given a vision of, and them explaining them in their terms based on of that time, like Brother Don Yehuda said, of the language they were speaking. Now we bring it on up and fast forward into today. I'm not sure of you know, I don't study ancient texts, things of that nature. Although I've gotten some books, and I'm actually into studying and doing a lot of research into these ancient tablets, things as the Enuma Elish and Atrahasis, and you know, a lot of the Emerald tablets, a lot of these books that explain and have the same stories, you know, from the Babylonian creation epics all the way up, you know, Gilgamesh epics. It's another one too, I think, called the Bhagavad Gita or something like that. But they all have similar stories, and these stories seem to kind of correlate with one another on these unexplained, or I should say unidentified objects, UFOs or UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, which these ancient gods have depicted and drew pictures of or whatnot, or explained in text. So the same thing when it comes to into the Bible, we read these things and we're just ooh and ah and yeah, but nobody has yet of these days seen a UFO. If you have, fine, that's good. You've seen a unidentified or UAP, aerial phenomenon, but you have not literally seen a UFO, or has not come down, taken you up, poked and prodded you. If you have, please, I would like to hear that story, man, and make sure you bring video too, to further, you know, make that thing, you know, true. But UFOs, UFOs, I mean, I can only, we reread about stuff. I don't, all the hoopla, man, and all this stuff, man, being read and all of this, that's fine. We can, if we it's all a belief. We can believe it all we want to, you know, but you know, seeing is believing, you know, that's just me.
So,
that's my opinion.
So is your opinion that UFOs don't exist?
I can just only go off, brother, by text that we read and what are you know, what's written down, like I said, in these 7 tablets of creation and things of that nature, which is very, very interesting. But I mean, if you want to say, do I believe in them? I would have to say no. I'm just being honest as possible. I'm gonna have to say no. I do not believe in unidentified flying objects.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
Okay. No. I want you to
Well,
know. And
can
so,
I add something on to what the brother was saying?
well, yeah.
Well, like he said, he right. Seeing is believing, but when you know, there's a difference between believing and knowing.
Exactly.
See, for me personally, I seen my first UFO Halloween night, 1993. The very first time I ever went to Pontiac, the city up here called Pontiac, named after the chief up here of the Chippewa. I seen my very first one, but what I will say towards what the brother Zadok is saying is, had I been by myself and seen it, I would have come up with some type of scenario where I would made myself not believe I seen what I seen, because it's so amazing. You dig what I'm talking about? But look, I just want to add this in, whether you believe it or not, or whatever, it don't matter. My thing is simply this: there are stuff in the sky. I'm not saying that they know aliens. They're not aliens. Most of anything that they say is an alien that come from this planet is actually a low, dark spirit obsessing a person, usually when they're asleep. This is why they all have the same dream. The brother Don Yehuda said, this high-raised being is coming up here. Why is he dropping information about the ground? What's going on the earth? You dig what I'm talking about? So, people got to wrap their mind around what's really going on. You are alien to Mars. You are alien to Jupiter, right? You can't go to Mars and breathe the air. So how, even if let's just say there's men from Jupiter, right? A man from Jupiter come here, he got to do what? He got to put on a breathing apparatus because he can't breathe our air because he's alien to this place. You dig what I'm talking about? Anybody ever seen an alien, even in a movie, with a breathing apparatus on? I haven't. But you got to understand what's going on today. Just like the brother Don Yehuda said, there are 3D, 4D, Blu-ray machines shooting holograms in the skies. That's one, right? So we're done with that. Well, okay, but there are three major things going on in the sky. You have etheric ships, like the angels, like I just described. You dig what I'm talking about? You got Etherian angelic ships in the sky. You have extraterrestrial ships in the sky. What's misunderstood many times as an alien. No, they from right here. They breathe the air. They have noses. They talk. They do whatever they say that they do. But they do it right here on Earth. So that means to breathe Earth atmosphere, you must be from Earth. So you have extraterrestrial ships. And thirdly, you got man-made, U.S. government stamped UFOs.
Right.
Believe it or not, don't matter if you believe it or not. Truth don't care what you think. You dig what I'm talking about? And I'm not saying that to Brother Zadok. I'm saying that to anybody.
Oh no, I understand. Yeah, I understand completely what you're saying. Yeah. I think government has ships or whatnot, you know, and they declassify or classified, I should say, information on these on this subject. I believe that portals also.
Now that's one thing I can't wrap my mind around. There's two really things. The portal thing, I'm not hip with the portal thing. And even though I get how this could happen, it's just hard for me to wrap my personal mind around mermaids. That blows my mind. Mermaids.
That's going down a whole nother path. Yeah, that's going down a whole nother.
Yeah, but my opinion on the whole thing, on the UFOs thing, is I definitely don't believe him. You just got to look, man, all over the earth, man. It's just depictions of these ships, and they pretty much always have like this the same about 5 or 6 shapes. You know what I'm saying? And these depictions and hologlyphs, these things go back for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, you can look at the paintings, you know what I'm saying? And these paintings that have the ships, you know, in there. Now, whether or not it's some kind of secret fortress. I know some Hebrews teach us like a secret fortress, like a Wakanda or some type of thing that's on earth that, you know, that they have these great powers to come out. I mean, you know, like a wonderful land with great technology, or whether or not they come from other planets or planets' moons. But to kind of limit back on what Carl McHale was saying about even the brother Yisrael when he brought out and did his presentation on, you know, the Anunnakis and the, you know, even all his presentations, even he was talking about the is Masonic is the Masonic lodges go back to Hebrew Israelite culture. He was talking about the angels actually operating these machines, and some people say that these machines are the angels.
Yep.
The angels transform themselves into the machines. But let me get Ezekiel, the first chapter, and I'm gonna kind of skip around. I'm gonna do the first chapter, verse 4, 16, 19, and 21. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as a color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Let me skip down to verse 16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was unto like the color of a beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Skip down to verse 19. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Drop down to verse 21. And when those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. They occupy these vehicles. And they are the vehicles a lot of times. When you read these scriptures, from the Bible to the Waspi to the Quran to wherever, you may think these creatures are in the wheels. They are operating the wheels. They're coming out of the wheels. They're coming out of these vehicles. It's just I mean, all over the earth, it's been depicted. Whether we've been personally abducted, only people I know to get abducted and alienly probed is the white folks and other nations. You know what I'm saying? But when I hear all the other nations say they've been abducted up there, it's always been black people operating these vehicles.
Yeah, I got a question.
It's definitely
like when you read like in the scriptures and it talks about Christ being taken up, right? Would you consider that being an abduction? And he's a so-called black man according to the scriptures, right?
Come.
That's a black man being abducted.
Come. But he wasn't anally probed.
Right. I didn't know. I doubt it. He wasn't
anally probed and experimented and horrified, you know what I'm saying? But transported, yeah. I mean, you see Enoch, I mean, hell, a lot of them was transported and it showed great things, you know, from above. But when we hear, you know, now, when we hear white people get on there, they say they've been anally probed. It's a horrible experience.
Right. Yeah. They hear
other people,
they want to be they want that. They want to be rammed by alien, man.
when we hear the other people, like, you know, the Hispanics and other people say they've been, you know, had dreams or been taken above, they say they see black people, and they say, you know what I'm saying, and I mean, I could have showed videos upon videos today, you know, just to save a fact. But I might want to end off with this one video, unless y'all brother got something to say real quick.
I think I'm gonna get up out of here, but let me show you the difference between the Etherian ships and what a real what was described in the Bible. Remember, they said it was hot and it was fire and it made a whole bunch of noise. Let me show you how real etheric spaceships, because remember, space is cold. It's not hot. Now remember this. This is during what I'm about to read is the birth of Yeshua, right? And that the angelic hosts are coming down to see him and watch his birth. Watch this. This is the book of Esra, chapter 42, 13. The time of the birth of the child was 3 days after the descent of a heavenly ship from the throne of God. And many of the Essenes, the Israelites, looked up and beheld the star, and they felt the cold wind of the higher heavens fall upon the place and around about the tent where the child was born. And they said to one another, Jehovah, remember us. You dig what I'm talking about? So when they looked up, they seen this ship coming down, and they said they felt the cold wind, not no fire. You know what I mean? Not that it didn't have wheels, and I'm not trying to say what was described by Ezekiel. What I'm saying is Ezekiel is watching a machine. He's trying to explain it the best way he can. Remember, at the bottom of Simeon's ship, she had 500,000 looking glasses, doors, entrances, where angels, while you was coming down, you could look through there, see everybody, and hey, you did what I'm talking about? So we got to remember, we talking about angelic technology. Some of this stuff we can't even think about right now. It's just, it's too fantastical. You know what I mean? So, you know, I would just say this: don't ever try to limit your creator. Ain't nothing think about this. If our creator's so dope, this nigga so cold. If we can think it, if you can even think it, he's already done it. He that cold. He created the ability, the possibility, for the possibility of all possibilities. He that guy.
Why is it working?
He that guy. You know what I mean? So, you know, with that being said, you did what I'm talking about. I got to go ahead and get out here, go kick it with the fam real quick. I love y'all, brothers.
Hey, Cosmic Cow, love you too, bro.
I love y'all, brothers,
I was experiencing some technical
Since the early
difficulties,
2000s.
so I caught some of it or not, but definitely powerful.
I love y'all, brothers, man. Hey, I'ma see y'all August 3rd. So that's
Yes, sir.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Wednesday, Thursday, we got a build on the Scorn Black Man podcast right here. Your boy Cosmonian Cal. You dig what I'm talking about? What we gonna break down? The place of women in the Creator's heaven.
Yes, sir.
We know
Definitely
about what
gonna be
happens with the men. It's told in the biblical tales. It's told in all religious tales, but it don't never tell what happened to the women. You dig what I'm talking about? It tell you to be subservient to a man who's subservient to a man who's subservient to a God who is a one-time man. So to get deep, you dig what I'm talking about? Y'all tune in. Was it 8 p.m. or 9 p.m.?
9 p.m.
9 p.m. August 3rd. The place of women in Jehovah's kingdom. Cosmonian, Hilltop, Zadok, Don Yehuda. I love you, brothers. Shalom. Cosmon is out.
Shalom. Peace and blessings. Godspeed with you today, brother.
Peace,
or should I say
peace,
creator
peace.
speed with you today.
It's all the same. All names is his, brother. All names is the creator. Huh? I love you, brothers, man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. I'm gonna play this last video real quick.
We have seen an increasing number of unauthorized and or unidentified aircraft or objects in military-controlled training areas and training ranges and other designated airspace. Reports of sightings are frequent and continuing. We attribute this increase in reporting to a number of factors, including our work to destigmatize reporting, an increase in the number of new systems such as quadcopters and unmanned aerial systems that are in our airspace, identification of what we can classify as clutter, mylar balloons, and other types of air trash, and improvements in the capabilities of our various sensors to detect things in our airspace. Almost 2 years ago, in August of 2020, Deputy Secretary of Defense Nordquist directed the establishment of the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force within the Department of the Navy. The UAP Task Force was built on the foundation of the Navy's initial efforts to respond to the reports from our aviators on unidentified objects observed in our training ranges. What you see here is aircraft that is operating in a U.S. Navy training range that has observed spherical object in that area. And as they fly by it, they take a video. You see it looks reflective in this video, somewhat reflective, and it quickly passes by the cockpit of the aircraft.
Is this one of the phenomena that we can't explain?
I do not have an explanation for what this specific object is. But I would caution. I would simply say that there are a number of events in which we do not have an explanation. In which, and there are a small handful in which there are flight characteristics or signature management that we can't explain with the data that we have.
And if you're able to answer this in this setting, are we aware of any foreign adversary capable of moving objects without any discernible means of propulsion?
I think I would, without discernible means of propulsion, I would say that we're not aware of any adversary that can move an object without discernible means of propulsion.
Pimp hoes and UFOs. The book of Psalms, chapter 68, verse 17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000s, even thousands of angels. But we could go on for days. We ain't gonna beat the cat. We're gonna get ready to close this thing out. Brother Dunya Huda, man, your final thoughts, man, and and announcements.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just first and foremost, I would just like to say that, at the end of the day, pimps and hoes and UFOs, just to the title's sake, is that brothers and sisters, definitely take an account of your lives, your situations, your morality, and like the brother said earlier, come back to the Creator, come back to the Most High Yahuwah in your understanding, because without Him, everything else is going to fall apart. When the Most High created us, He created us for one another. It tells you that we will leave father and mother and cleave unto our wife, and we become one flesh, meaning that we're going to leave all the other ideologies, all the other forms of lifestyles that we grew up on, and we're going to cleave to one another. And we're going to start our path. We're going to start our tribe. We're going to start our mission. And then we have to be one and the same in thought, in action, in speech. There can't be a separation in there between the two of us, because once there's a separation, then this gives room for the devil to intercede and do the things that we see today, which is manipulate our community, which is to influence us to do things that is contrary to the doctrine, and for us to give in to our lustly flesh, such as pimping out our women and hoeing for money. So on that aspect, I would say definitely come back to the Creator Yahuwah and all things, all knowledge in all ways, and apply it to your life. And as far as the UFOs, I mean, like you said, we can talk about this all day, because there's ancient accounts of it, there's modern day accounts of it, there's exact and right information about it, and then there's misinformation about it. So this is a whole ocean within itself of trying to swim through and see what's real and what's not, what's fake and what's 100. So you definitely have to do your research on these things. Just the translation alone within the KJV Bible and a lot of the Bibles that we have, it doesn't do justice to the antiquity of the understanding of what transpired in the creation story and the origin of things. And I would implore all of you to go back, like I said, get you a concordance, a real good Strong's concordance, a Hebrew, Aramaic, and even a Greek concordance. Get you other study tools that helps break down the language. If you know brothers that know biblical Hebrew and things of that nature, glean to them. Not saying you necessarily have to learn the language, but things that you might not have full understanding on, glean to these brothers and sisters and try to get further understanding. Do your research. The scriptures say to study to show yourself approved. So with that being said, I say Godspeed to all the righteous brothers and sisters that's out there, that's trying to do the Most High's work, that's trying to conduct themselves accordingly. Godspeed to you today. Enjoy your Sabbath, enjoy your family, and shalom.
Pimp hoes and UFOs, I'd like to give a special shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody, I can't call everybody names out. Shout outs to all the brothers and sisters, the beautiful brothers, beautiful sisters. Pimp hoes and UFOs, man, it's real. The pimping and the horn, got to get it together, with all this, we got to stop envying our oppressor. We got to get back to our culture, our morals and values. We keep telling that week after week. That's what the Scoring Black Man podcast series is about, tackling issues within our community that's prevalent to us.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm talking about? But so Pimp hoes and UFOs, man, it's pretty much a wrap.
I do have some announcements real quick before you close it.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, just real quick, brothers and sisters. On August 3rd, we do have the brother coming back, Cosmic Cow. The topic will be the place of the women in the Creator's kingdoms. That'll be August 3rd, which is a Wednesday. I believe this is this upcoming Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Then on the 6th, we have episode 26 of the Scoring Black Man podcast with Afro-American, Afro-Latino men are double dipping, and Black women are pegging them and loving it. Definitely a chime in, a tune in, come
Gonna
on
be the good one.
type of broadcast. Come put your 2 cents in, man, because we all know brothers and sisters out there that's double dipping, swirling, and everything in between. And then we have on August 10th at 9 p.m. Part 7 of Controversial and Deep conversation with Hebrew Israelites of different doctrines and teachings. So tune in for that episode as well. That's going to have various topics in it. And if you missed out today, go ahead and repeat episode 25, Pimp Holes and UFOs. Don't forget, go back and look at Malachi Maccabee podcast that he just had this past Thursday, The True Dietary Laws of the Holy Bible. And also, we can't forget the Queen of Tally, who was on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, with the book of Enoch, Jasher, and Jubilees, and the Atlantis. So definitely go watch these videos if you didn't see them yet. Definitely subscribe, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And with that, I say shalom on my end. It's all yours.
Pimp Holes and UFOs, episode 25 of the Scoring Black Man podcast series. You know, I like to end it off. Book of Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13 and 14. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Shalom, peace, and hair grease. We're going to see you next time. Hit that subscribe button and hit that like button ASAP. You dig?